How are you feeling for this matchup?
We're excited to be part of the 64 teams that are left. The teams was very, very excited to see their name come up on Sunday night, and we had a really good practice yesterday. We expect to have another one today, and we need to be good. Our good needs to show up. We don't need to be our very, very best, but we need to be good. And this time of year, that's what's expected, and that's what we think this team's capable of.
I noticed 4 out of their 6 starters were named All ACC, with Savina Vac getting 4,000 career assists. How are you feeling going up against these players?
They've got good balance. They've got a really good setter who's got experience and has been there, for 4 years. She distributes the ball well, especially when she's comfortable. So we spent a lot of time yesterday serving the ball with some intent, and the whole goal there was to get her uncomfortable offensively. So if we can move her off the net and create a little bit more issues for the tempo they want to run and the people they want to get the ball to, that'll serve us well.
The team has mentioned that they do best when they have no expectations and are just ready to play. How are you feeling, or how do you think the team is, how do you feel the team is, mentality, or how do you feel the team is?
It's go time regardless. I mean, Miami's a seeded team, we're not. They come out of a good conference, we come out of a good conference, so it should be a really good matchup. And once again, we'll need to do the things that are true to our character and what we want to do, and see what happens.
Hey Coach, so 2 of your top 2 scorers this year, in Anya and Caroline, being underclassmen, going into this tournament, how do you stress the importance of staying in the moment and being competitive, but also enjoying the moment, soaking it in, and kind of playing free like they do?
Went through this experience last year, and obviously was really, really good late in the year and in postseason. Aya has been a high performer for us all year, and I think they'll certainly call upon the experiences they had in the Big 12, a league that certainly prepared us well for whatever lies ahead. There is pressure. It's a one and done situation, but at the same time, it's the NCAA tournament, and magical things can happen when you get everybody gets on the same page, as we kind of proved last year in our low run through Omaha. So it's a different place, still in Nebraska. Some good competition. So our expectations are go compete hard and take one match at a time and see how far we can advance.
And kind of to piggyback off that, coming into your 2nd straight NCAA tournament now, what do you think your team's biggest keys to success are to getting past the Sweet 16 this year?
Yeah, we talk about, we watch hours and hours of film, and we dissect every player and every rotation and every piece of what Miami's doing. And it comes down to, I told the team yesterday, hey, championship level teams are doing 2 things today. They're passing the ball and they're serving the ball, and they're doing that at a championship level. Because if you do those 2 things, I know it sounds mundane, and the team finds it mundane to work on it in practice, but those two skills will keep you in every match, and those 2 skills will take you out of matches too. So we've been a consistent pass and serve team throughout the year. Obviously you have some up and down as that goes, but we'll need to take care of that first and foremost. And there's some things we think we can do, from a physicality standpoint and from a speed standpoint, that'll give us some opportunities. But to answer the question, you got to be first contact. You got to be high level if you want to continue to advance in the tournament.
You talked physicality. I wonder, what can Lauren do for you at this stage of the season? I know she's been good all year and a huge pickup, but can she be a difference maker as you move forward?
Yeah, I mean, she's experienced the NCAA tournament every year that she's competed, and so this won't be overwhelming for her. And Miami's got some physical kids that'll be across the net from her. So I think certainly Dooley and Langs both will create a physical presence that might offset a little bit of what Miami wants to do. And Dooley brings a calm. She brings a serenity of some sorts to where everything seems good in her world, regardless of what's happening, and that is good for our underclassmen to see that calm and that presence that she gives us.
I wanted to ask you too about Cameron. At this stage last year, she was still adjusting, right? A freshman on the fly to running the team. And how much more ready is she for this type of run and in the postseason now that she's had a full year and also last year's experience too?
Yeah, well, she was hitting her stride about this time last year, which was great for us. And she's been, obviously, a lot of people think she's undersized and she's this or that, but she's a bulldog of a competitor, and she last couple matches been a little bit nicked up, but you couldn't tell it by the way she competes. So she'll be ready. I think Matt's ready to take on a little bit more of a leadership role this year, whereas we had Jenny Moser and some other kids last year that we looked to there, but she's not afraid to shake it up in the huddle. She's not afraid to shake it up when we're out there. So Cameron keeps developing in all phases.
Coach, at this point in the season, literally, what's the difference between last year's team and this year's team?
Just a different cast of characters. We were playing extremely well late last year. We had a great senior night here, and we weren't great in Lubbock. We realized that, and now we think that's a benefit that we get to play again, even though that match wasn't the best. So we're looking at that as a positive, as a little bit of a wake-up call, a little bit of a, hey, we need to answer the bell when it rings. But we're similar in a lot of ways. With a little more physicality in the middle. We're a little younger on the outside. We had a grad transfer, Jenny Moser, on the outside. So is going to fill that spot. Ryan Swanson's got a bigger role as of late. We're excited about her. But there is a little youth out there. And we'll see how they're ready for the challenge.
Matt asked you about Cameron. I'm just curious, how much more difficult would it be to go back-to-back tournaments without her?
Yeah, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, Cameron Turner's makes us go. She, a setter's much like a DeJuan Harris or Jalen Daniels, or however you want to compare that. She thinks she's a little better shooter than DeJuan is, but she's got a great competitive spirit to her. She's beloved by her teammates, and she certainly is a big piece of what we got going.
Do you expect huge crowds? And if you were to win, would it be exciting to play Nebraska?
It seems like every time we play Nebraska, there's a pretty big crowd. We played them this last spring in Grand Island in a spring exhibition, and they sold 6,000 tickets in less than an hour. And we had a competitive match there. Obviously, a few years ago when we played in Omaha, there was a lot of red in the building at the Final Four, but it'll be sold out. I think there'll be a good crowd there for our match, and hopefully they remember their Big 12 counterpart and think fondly of them. We've got a former Husker on our team, Nesh, which I'm sure the crowd will be excited to see, but it'd be great to play in that environment against them, but certainly we got a ton of work to do before we worry about that.